Hey, hey, don't hurt me. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rich Get Rich podcast slash live webinar. Not a webinar, but it's just me live talking and answering financial questions because, I want to be the greatest and the best person, not only on social media, not on TV, not on radio. I want to be the voice of reasoning for anybody when it comes to financing. I've been told I was good with money my whole life, and I want to show pretty much the world that I am really good at this. And a lot of the times when people come ask me questions, it's not the fact that they're either right or wrong. It's just the fact they just don't know. They never was taught this type of stuff. They never experienced these type of things. And then you can go to people who are, financial experts or financial advisors, and they just took a test on how to manage money. And then you listen to some of these older guys like the Dave Ramsey, you listen to some of the older guys like Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins. And these guys are 60, 70 years old, and these guys are out of touch. And I feel like listening to these type of guys, and it's not relatable to a younger demographic. I'm not saying I'm young, but I understand where people are coming from on all perspectives. I don't give guidance to anybody just based off generic information that I learned in the damn 80s, right? I was listening to a Dave Ramsey podcast or something. And he said, yeah, if you want to buy a house, save 20% down and get a 15-year loan, and the loan shouldn't be no more than 25% of your income. And I said, Mr. Dave, like if you listen to what you're saying, the average home price in America is $350,000, and that's for a shit box. Let's up it to 400,000, right? $400,000, 20% down. You're talking 80 grand. You have to save 80 fucking $1,000, and then your mortgage payment can't be 25% of what you made. Let's say if your mortgage payment with your PITA, property taxes, interest, and insurance, is an average house of $400,000 is 2,200, $2,000. And that's a 30-year. Shit, what if you get a damn 15-year? Now your payment is 27, 2,800. 2,800 times 4 is comically somewhere in the range of $115,000. I don't even know what that is. Hold on, let me see. 28. I'll get my handy dandy calculator though. 28 times 4. Yeah, $2,800. He said 25% of your take home pay. That's $112,000. The average medium income in America is $54,000. So he pretty much dismissed everything that, and he dismissed the majority of people in America. When people say shit like that, that means they're out of touch. I can't tell somebody to save up $80,000, get a 15-year loan, and make $115,000 a year to make a house payment. That shit sounds stupid as hell. I hope somebody clip this out and tag his ass, because you sound stupid, Mr. Dave. That is not applicable. Yeah, that shit worked in 97. Not 20, 24, 25, 26. Doesn't work. I don't know, because he has multiple millions of dollars. He's making all this money from the book sales. He's making all this money from tour. That shit can work for him, but it doesn't work for everybody else, Mr. Dave. Right? And then the bad part about it is he finessing on the book. You know what? I don't hate on anybody. Mr. Dave, I wish you the best. However, it doesn't work for the average person. And that's where I come in. I give reasonable guidance that average people can adhere to. Because that's the type of people I meet every day. That's the type of people I meet on the streets. That's the type of people I meet on social media. Average Joe, medium income, want to get a house, want to own a business, want to own investment property, want to own some real estate, want to own a side hustle that makes them money. That type of shit. But you can't do it if everything in society tells you to do something opposite. Because society will tell you, go out here and get a job, go to college, get married, have babies, and all those other kind of society norms that people tell you. And that shit's, it don't work. Why am I listening to society on how to get ahead in life when society's not ahead in life? Oh my goodness. Why am I listening to my teachers on how to get ahead in life and they complain about how much money they make? Oh, they don't want to hear that one. They don't want to hear that. Why am I listening to my college professors when my college professors, average college professors don't even make the average medium income? Why am I listening to my parents when it comes to money when my parents don't make an average income? My parents ain't rich. Why the hell am I listening about financial advice? How am I listening to my parents or my friends or my family, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins, when it comes to being successful in America when they're not successful? It's like the blind leading the blind. Go to school, you'll be successful. Get a job, you'll be successful. Get married, that's what successful people do. Have kids, that's what successful people do. Get a car. You're successful now, you got a decent job, get a nice car. Oh, you found the woman, y'all need to get married now. Oh wow, y'all married now? When them grandbabies coming? And now you're mid 30s, mid 40s, maybe mid 50s. And then the wife or your girlfriend, whatever, your wife ain't working now because she got to sit at home and take care of the kids. Single income, you got a house, you can barely make ends meet, you got a couple car payments, and then you want to feel like you want to live sometimes, so you go out and get a motorcycle, or you want to take a damn half decent vacation, but you can't afford it, so you put it on the credit card. Stop me when I'm lying. I'll wait. Is it my fault that you listen to society for your guidance? No, but I'm here to tell you, you need a change. You need a fucking change. You can't get ahead listening to people that ain't got shit. You know, it's crazy because the majority of people in America get their guidance from their peers. But if you really look at your peers, are there really people that you want to be listening to? I mean, truly, right? Or from a young age, you was taught from your teachers, do good in school, get good grades. The average teacher income is $43,000 a year. I respect teachers. I love teachers, but they're the wrong people to be listening to when it comes to this money thing. And then you ever ask the teacher, "Do you do it for the money?" They say, "Hell no. I do it because I love it." Now, anybody who chooses passion over money should not be giving me a money guidance. So, where do you go? Where do you learn your guidance from? Where do you get the game from? You see every fucking ass clown on America talking about, I'll teach you the game. I'll teach you how to do it. I got a course. But I don't know if anybody in America has ever taken anybody who's listening to this. I don't know if you've ever did an online school that was self-taught. That shit sucks. Okay, here you go. Give me your $50, $100, $200, $5,000, whatever the fuck it is. Here you go. Figure it out. Here's everything. And so you're reading this shit and you're trying to apply it. And you're like, what the fuck? I don't even know what this is. I don't know what's going on. So a lot of courses don't work. That's why I don't do a course. People say, yo, man, you got a course or anything? I had one. I hated it. I probably sold one. And then after that, I just gave it away. Because a course gives you more questions than answers. And then let's say if there's a like a speaking event. Like say if I was doing a speaking event in your city and I'm out there giving all the game away, right? You might be hyped up, let's say I charge you a couple $100 to come. You listen to me speak. I might give you some game. I might get you pumped up. I might give you a free lunch. You take a couple selfies. Then you're gonna go home and you ain't gonna do none of that shit. It's the truth. It's the reality of the situation. Statistically, you won't. If I gave you guidance for free online, 3% would adhere to the guidance I gave you. If you paid me for guidance, for one-time guidance, 9% will adhere to it. But if you had a system in place with ongoing training and learning on a regular basis, 87% of success. And that's what people need. And that's what I offer. It's ongoing forever. As long as you want it. So everybody's asking, do I do mentorship? Do I do any of that stuff? So that's what I do. If you're interested, click the link in the bio and join the free class. But I'm not going to harp on it too much. You can do it or not. I don't care. I still give you a lot of guidance on these free things or talking live. Just ask the questions. I'll try to get to it. I'm letting the questions build up on multiple social media platforms while I talk about whatever. And then I'm going to try to get all these questions as soon as possible. So, first question of the day. Question about business acquisitions. So acquisition and disposition. Acquisition is just a fancy word for buying something or acquiring something. And disposition is just a fancy word for getting rid of something, right? So let's say if I say, hello, I'm a business acquisition and disposition manager, or I'm a real estate acquisitions manager. Or whenever you start getting to really heavy investing, you'll see like a disposition manager in real estate or a disposition manager in anything. That means that they're just a part of the outbound system. And acquisition means they're acquiring. So I have a business acquisitions. When do you secure funding? That's a good question. So if you want to buy an existing business, which one of the things that I like a specialty at is buying existing businesses. Because if you think about it, why start anything? Because you're impressed by it, because you want a sense of accomplishment. If you started a business today, will you make money tomorrow? More than likely not. Will you make money on Monday? More than likely not. Actually, you're more than likely to be in debt on Monday, tomorrow than you are today. If you start a business. However, if you buy a business, and let's say that business has systems in place, it has management, it has point of sale systems, it has employees, it has bookkeeping, it has all levels of staff. All you're doing is paying the bills. Okay. If all those things are in place, and let's say that business makes $20K a month, 20K divided by 30 days, that's $660 a day. That means if I buy it today, when I wake up tomorrow, in theory, there'll be $660 in my account. Day two, 600 and sorry, 1,320 bucks. Day three, so on and so on and so on. Right? There's not too many products in the world or things that you can buy that actually makes you money every day owning it. It's not too many. There are some, but you have to learn the difference between good ones and bad ones. Not all businesses to buy are good. Not all of them are bad either. Some of them are awesome, and some of them are shitty, and some of them are mediocre. You got to learn the difference. But whenever you get funding, it depends. You should try to get funding as soon as possible. If you want to use funding to buy anything that produces cash flow or to grow your existing business or anything of that sense, you should be doing that as soon as possible. I almost tell people try to get the funding first, but be looking for different ways to different plays on things you can buy at the same time. And so for people that don't think that the funding stuff works, I always show this one. This is a brand new one. $30,000 business credit. And this is legit. It's right here. It's right there. All right. And then also, for people that think this is like some old card or it's fake, here's the date. There's the date. No. And here's the card. I'm not out here playing around. 30,000. Right. And on top of the 30, I just applied for that one because I got the offer and I know the good ones and the bad ones. Here's another $90,000, $900,000 worth of business funding. On top of my Centurion Black Platinum card, which is unlimited spending. So $930,000 plus an unlimited card. Now, let's say if you had access to, I don't know, I'll say $100,000 worth of funding. What could you buy with $100,000 of business funding or business credit? But the only caveat is you have to buy something that makes you money. You can't go out and buy like a Hellcat or some Gucci or some other crap, right? We don't want any of that crap. We want to make some real money. Now, there's ways you can buy stuff to make money, and there's ways you can buy it to lose money. It's about as simple as that. If you buy something and the next day you have more money than you had before you started, then that's an asset. You buy something and it takes money out your pocket, that's a liability. You got to know the difference between the good one and bad ones. And I teach you. If you're interested, click the link in the bio, join the free class. So somebody said, can you speak on getting an SBA loan on a business that you want to acquire outside of the state you reside in? All right, good question. So whenever you are looking to buy a business, there's kind of two ways it comes when you're looking out of state. Actually, kind of three ways. So there's three ways to get funded buying a business out of state. If you are what they consider driving distance to the next state or the neighboring state, the SBA will approve it. But if you're not within the driving range, you have to get a different type of loan. The federal government is kind of wishy-washy on them loaning money, and you're not going to be near the business. Even if the business is even if the business is not near, or even if it's a home-based business or it's an absentee business, if that makes sense. So let's say if you're in Georgia, right? Say if you're in Atlanta, if you want to buy a business in Tennessee, if it's in the driving range, the SBA loves it. It could be a work from home business, they'll approve that. But if it's a business that is absentee, then the SBA wants you to be in that range. If you're not in that range, then you have to go through a different method to get financing, which there's like 2 or 3 other ways. So be within driving range, one, or find the other 2 ways to get uh, access to capital to purchase that existing business. So, yeah, someone just brought up the point that there's a lot of scam accounts out there. Yeah, man, I got like 300 fake pages. I don't choose to. I don't know why they're like that. I just know that I have them. I don't want them, but it is what it is. So if you see a fake page out there, um, check if it has a decent amount of followers, and More than likely, I won't ask you for money through a DM or nothing like that. Only thing that I offer is a free webinar. And if you come to the free webinar, you'll be interacting with me. And if you want to move forward on something, let's say if you wanted to get business funding, business credit, if you wanted to uh, get the credit options, or if you wanted to do a one-on-one or a consultation or any of that stuff, I'll only do it through the webinar because it's easier for me to track who's coming through it. And it also helps you know that you're engaging with me. You're not engaging with a fake account because you physically see me. It's not a live, it's not a recording, it's me. So I always try to do that. Someone said, "What do you watch? What watch you got on today?" Uh, GMT Master 2, something light. I don't too much care for it though. It's kind of small. I like bigger watches. I think this is like a 39. I'm almost like I like 43s, 44s. Somebody said I don't know you with the beard like that. Yeah, the beard is okay. Like I said, it almost doesn't give professional either. I see why people say that um, people are more trustworthy with beards or without beards. I don't know. I don't like it. I wish it would grow out a little more on the side, and it's kind of thinned out. But I'll figure it out. All right. So now somebody asked, I got $5,000. I want to start a business. What do you suggest? So you have $5,000. You came to me. First thing I would do is I would try to one. I will make sure that everything personally is in order because one, a lot of businesses or a lot of real estate transactions won't be they won't they'll look at the amount of money that you got to put into that as not a lot. But one thing about $5,000 is you can take $5,000 and you can make yourself appease to the banks better. So what that means is, so let's say for example, you have $5,000, right? Then now you go establish relationships with, let's say, 3 banks. I'll say Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Chase. I don't know. You get your business structure right, and then you open up business lines of business bank accounts, right? And deposit a couple $100, $300, right? Banks are relationships based. I always use the analogy of a woman who has kids. because it's just easier to comprehend. You want to date the mom, but the mom has kids. You go over to her house and you say, "Hey, I want to take you out on a date." That's the bank. The bank is the mama, and the bank gets access to all the money in the world because $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, that ain't even nowhere comparable to what the bank has. So you go to the baby mama and you say, "Hey, I want to date you, right? I want to marry you. I want to be the best thing in the world to you." And they're gonna say, "Well, I have kids. Are you taking care of my kids?" And then you say, "What kids you got?" "My primary checking, my personal savings, my business savings, my personal credit cards, my business checking, CDs, and stuff like that." And the more attention you show to the bank's kids, the more the mama will love you. So if I had to start with nothing, my job is to go impress multiple baby mamas. Bank of America, Truist, PNG, Navy Federal, USAA, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. I mean, there's tons of banks. There's tons of baby mamas out here, right? There's tons of banks out here. And once you go and establish relationships with those banks, then you ask the baby mama, "Yo, you gonna take me on a date?" "Well, you are playing with my son checking account, primary checking. You do play with my daughter, primary savings, and you do you even come over and walk my dog, which is my business checking. Let's go out for a date." Now you can go through that bank and you can raise all kind of money, right? Like I showed you before. Here's 20,000 from the bank, or 30,000, a 30 ball, a 30 ball, a 30 haul, a 30 ball, right? So now let's say if you go to multiple banks and multiple baby mamas or whatever, and now you have multiple business lines of credit with them. A 30 ball, a 40 ball, a 20 ball, a 100 ball. Now you've raised 150, $100,000 worth of credit. And a lot of times there's 0% interest for a year. Now, what would you rather have? $100,000 of someone else's money or $5,000 of your own money spread out over, you know, you rather have $5,000 in one account or $5,000 in four accounts, and those four accounts gives you access to $100,000 worth of line of credit. It's still your money. You just spread out over multiple accounts. And now you go and use the bank's money, and yeah, you can buy whatever you want. Now, better question is, you say, what can you do with $5,000? What can you do with $100,000 now of line of credit from four different banks? And that's the game, people. Some of it, at least, or a lot of it. Well, not a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff that you need to learn. But no one talks about this at school. Your friends don't talk about it because they ain't damn doing it. Your coworkers ain't talking about it. They just want to go to work, do work, go home, and watch football. And I'll sit up here and talk about this stuff all day. In theory, this is my job. I just wake up, take a quick shower, do a quick shave, sit on here and make money. That's the game, right? Or use other people's credit or other people's funds and buy assets that produces cash flow, storage units, vending machines, businesses, donut shops, ice cream shops, freaking whatever, insurance companies, tech companies. it don't make a difference. Now you got to know what the difference between a good business and a bad business is. But that stuff's easy. It's a learned skill, just like everything in the world is. It's just a learned skill. You have to learn that skill. You got to learn how to find deals. You got to learn what a good deal is. You got to learn how to negotiate. You got to learn how to get across the finish line, and then you got to learn how to manage those assets to produce you a good income. And a lot of it comes from allocating work to other people. You got to learn how to manage people. If you can't manage your finances, how are you going to manage other people's finances or a business's finances? Boss of all bosses. When do you secure funding like SBA? SBA funding is, you're saying it weird, right? SBA funding is not really funding, it's just a loan. But if a person came to me and they said, yo, man, I found a business I like, and first of all, I got to figure out if it even qualifies for SBA 7A loan. Some businesses don't qualify for a 7A SBA loan. It depends on the purchase price, and it depends on the person's down payment, and it depends on the type of business. Some businesses, I'll kind of go in a little bit into this. I don't really want to deep dive, but some businesses will not qualify for SBA loan, right? Some businesses the government will not loan money on. Some adult clubs they won't. Some like companies that deal with like weed or like a dispensaries and stuff, they won't loan on that. And there's a handful of other stuff. Like I said, I'm not gonna get deep dive into it, but there are some businesses. But let's say, for example, the business that you found does qualify for SBA, right? First of all, it has to financially make sense. Okay, so if a business that you want to buy, it has to financially make sense. If you are rolling with me or you're part of my mentorship or anything like that, you 90% of the time you won't even bring me a deal that I've already, because once I teach you how to look for deals and I teach you how to evaluate them, everything else is irrelevant. You will not bring me anything that doesn't fall in certain criteria because it's like I said, once you learn a skill, like that's like me teaching you how to walk, and then you come over here talking about, hey man, can I crawl on the ground to do this? And I'm like, why are you crawling? I already taught you how to walk. You just go walk, right? And you say, okay. And then you go walking, and then you come back and you say, yo, I walked and found this. And I say, yeah, okay, yeah, that's good. But once you understand that there's, certain criteria that you should be looking for in these deals, you understand that, cool, let's press forward. And then once you evaluate it, and if you want me to evaluate it, then what you can do is you can take it to the SBA, which I know 5 SBA guys, and they will I know 5 SBA guys that will um, look at those deals and see if they financially make sense. And if they financially make sense, then they'll say, okay, you can get approved for this loan. But, after that, you got to do your due diligence because there's more than just getting money for a business. There's more to getting money for a real estate deal, right? You got to look at if it's real estate, you got to look at the property, see if it has a tenant in it, see how much work it needs, see what the appraised value is, see how much you're getting it for, and all of the other kind of stuff, right? When it comes to a business, you got to look at the P&Ls, you look at the year to date, you got to look at the tax returns, you got to look at how much the equity state, you got to look at. I mean, it's a lot. So you got to know that back end stuff too. So there's a lot of things that you should know, or a lot of things that you should know. But thank you everybody for being on here. I appreciate it. We got a decent amount of people on social media. So if you're watching from TikTok and you want to come over to YouTube, or you want to come over from any other social media platform, Just go to The Rich Get Richer on YouTube and watch from there, because I don't get paid on any other social media platforms. How do I look at deals to see if it's worth my efforts? Yeah, you just got to learn, right? If you want to get into the mentorship, or you want to get into the coaching, or you want to get into a deep dive, or even a one-on-one session, when I break the stuff down, I do. You know, it's kind of crazy is when I meet people and they want to learn like super in depth, or I teach like a mass class or something, I'll always ask them 5 questions before I start. And the 5 questions are like just vague questions about owning a business. And no one ever passes the test initially. Nobody. So once they pass the class, or after I teach them, after about an hour or whatever, I ask them the same 5 questions and they get damn near 80, 90, 100%, because they know what they're looking for now. It's just a learned skill. All right, somebody said, I don't want to get off topic. There's no such thing as that. Do you have any advice starting a biz with a partners? Like I said, I don't start businesses. But if I wanted to buy a business, or let's say, for example, if I wanted to start a business from with a partner, I would make sure everything's in on paper and get everything, signed and notary, because I don't want, you don't want to damn do deals with people and it come back to backfire you in the future. Yeah. Somebody said before pre-launch, valuation pre-launch, I will make sure everybody that I'm doing a pre-launch with has the same overview of what we're going to get into, and same expectations, the same work ethic, and make sure that everything on paper is spread out as far as like what we receive, what's our compensation, what's their duties, what are their responsibilities, because you don't want to say, yo man, you're supposed to do this and you didn't, and or I was supposed to receive this and I didn't. But if you already have a contract that stated that this is your responsibility, and or this is what I'm compensated, then you won't have that issue. Good evening, good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you damn checking in from. Someone said one more time. I don't know. Someone one more time. Good evening, good morning. T, what's happening? The interest rates are ridiculous now. Interest rates they are what they are. If a deal, this is what's crazy about interest rates. If a deal makes money, like I don't even look at the interest rates. A lot of people say focus on the interest rate. Look at the interest rate. Interest rates are high. Man, if I give you $1 and you give me back two, but the interest rate's at 99%, do I care? I mean, let's be real. If I put $1 into a bucket, I wait an hour and I come back and there's $2 in the bucket, and I take the $2 out. And then I take the $2 out, hold it in my hand for a second, I put the $2 back in the bucket, come back in an hour, and I take the $2 out the bucket. Now that's $4. Do I care how much interest the bucket made off of me? Oh man, you could have made $3 on the bucket. Nah, I don't care. You could have made $2, instead of having that extra dollar. Don't care. If I put $1 in the bucket, and I leave and I come back and it's $2 in the bucket, I don't care how much I don't care how much they charge me for that process. Don't even care, right? You have to look at it like that too, especially when it comes to home ownership too. When you look at home ownership, if you're buying a house and the house payment is just as much as renting, or you can house hack and rent out rooms of the house, or get roommates, or split half the house, get like a duplex or a fourplex or a quadplex or a triplex. You live in one unit and you rent out the other ones. I don't care what the interest rates are. I don't care. That don't make any sense to me. Like I did this one property. Actually, I closed on it maybe 3 months ago. I got it at a deal. I got it for 130, and it was worth 190. Okay, so simple math. That's $60,000 worth of equity. Okay, 60K worth of equity, and I financed the property at 7.5% interest. My PITA, property taxes, interest, insurance, PITI, was really PITA PITIM, property taxes, interest, and insurance, and my management fee, which is 10%. It rents for 1,700. All my fees is 1,150 or something. I'll round it up to 1,200. If I'm getting 1,700, my fees are 500. I mean, it's 1,200. I make $500 a month. Plus, I got $60,000 worth of equity just sitting there. Whenever I go to sell it or go to refinance it or take a HELOC or whatever on it. Now, how many people in here would do that deal? How many people would buy a property, have 130 into it, it's worth 190, so you make 60, rent it out for 1,700, and your bills is $1,200. That's $500 a month. How many people would do that deal? Okay, how many people? How many people would do that deal? Now, this is what's crazy. I didn't say shit about interest. I did. I said about 7.5%, 8%. But in that deal, the interest rate could be 15%. I'll probably still be breaking even on the rent, but I still got $60,000 worth of equity. And that's how we do it. That's why people say, yo, the interest rates are high. I don't care about that. Don't care. It's real money to be made out here. You just got to know how to evaluate deals. Or you can negotiate. And then this is what's crazy. Since the interest rates are so high, use interest rates in your favor. If interest rates are high, when you're negotiating with an owner, you say, hey, interest rates are high and they want a lot of money down. Why don't I just pay you directly and I don't have to go out and get a loan? If I got to put 20% down at the bank and they're going to charge me 7.5%, 8% interest on an investment property, why don't I just pay you directly? I'll give you the money down and I just pay you. That way, you pay less in taxes. I don't have to go get a loan. And then I'll balloon you out in like 5 years. So all that money you're making, you're paying less in taxes. Because let's say if I give you $200,000 cash right now or $200,000 from the bank, you got to pay capital gains tax on that at 30% juice. That's $60,000 in taxes. Do you want a bill for $60,000, sir? Hell no. I know you don't. So this is what I'll do. I'll give it to you. I'll give you a down payment. We'll say $20,000, $30,000. And then I'll make you monthly payments. So this year, you'll pay less in taxes. And then next year, you pay less in taxes. The year after that. So in theory, you're making more money just over time. Do you what? And then you ask them stuff like, what do you need the money for? If they need the money to, buy a new house somewhere else. Okay, well, how much you need for a down payment? 20,000, 30,000? Cool, I'll give you that. Now negotiated owner financing terms. Because the interest rates are high. You see how the world gives you shit, you make it sugar, man. That's what you do. The world is full of crap, and you got to make the good from it. Interest rates might not be good. And then I have a paid off property in 8 years or something. And then if I want to go refinance, then I can go pay them a ridiculous interest. But now I'm just getting all that money in a refinance since it's debt. Now I don't pay capital gains tax on my refinance. Wow. It's almost like someone knows what they're doing. Would you advise against closing a business that no longer generates money with? Probably not. One is I don't know what kind of business it is, so it's kind of hard to say what I would do. One, I don't give advice either. So this is just my opinion, right? Just my random old internet opinion. So no. One, two, somebody might can turn that business around. I don't know how much energy, effort you've devoted to the business. You can sell it to somebody else, but if it's not generating any money, more likely no one's going to buy it because it ain't generating money. And better yet, why isn't it generating money? Have you done everything humanly possible for this business to either fail or succeed? You've been working on marketing. You're working on advertisement. You're doing direct customer letters. You do like newsletters. You do freebies. You do. I don't know. I don't even know what kind of business it is. That's like a super vague question. But the answer generally, if it's, I don't know if your overhead is negative, equal, or greater. Meaning that, let's say if your overhead to operate this business is 10K. If the business makes 10K, you're just a wash every month. It doesn't make anything. Businesses like that, you can kind of turn around. If you're just breaking even, right, you can kind of turn some of them around. I mean, and also too, if you have 10K worth of expenses, but you're only bringing in 8,000, meaning you're losing $2,000 a month, then those are a little more complicated, right? No business can sustain losing money every month. None. It's almost comically impossible. And if your overhead is 10,000 and you're making 11,000, then that's a profitable business. Someone's using your profile to message you. Yeah. So if you see me messaging you talking about some crypto or anything like that, just block them and report them because it's not me. Telecommunications business after COVID struggled. Had a partner, was working with the family, partner passed, and it wasn't able to keep it going. So you gotta, so this is what's crazy. The business that you're talking about was, I'm real big on systems. If a business cannot thrive without the individual, without a particular person. So I'll give you a great example. Y'all know who, I won't say David Copperfield. You know who Chris Angel is? Let me think. Chris Angel. David Blaine. Okay. If David Blaine's business model revolves him touring and then David Blaine dies, then that's not a business no more. I mean, if the whole business revolves around one person, then and that person's gone, then what did you really have? Like I like systems. I like things that can be plug and played. You know, it's almost like a checkerboard. If I lose a piece, I just slide another piece up. You know, if you have a telecommunications business, you had a partner and you was working with family, and then the partner passes, and then now you can't do it. Either one or two things are going to happen. Either you need to sell it to somebody who can devote the time, energy, effort to it, or you need to find someone else that can devote that time, energy, effort into it, and replace that individual. It sounds like you don't have a business problem. You sound like you have a personnel problem, and that person didn't give you the proper training to do that business. You know, this is I always give a good example. If there's a business out there, right, and I want people to listen to this. If there's a business out there, and if the person who owns the business leaves, and that business will crash, then that process revolve around him. He or she needs to teach multiple people how to do that, because I can't replace that person, because everything falls through one person. So you probably got to look at a couple things. One, can I replace this individual that was working there? Then you have to look at if the person that was working there before, if his position is indisposable, right? If he brought in the majority of the stuff, if he was the reason people was there, if he had all the connections, and if I can't make that work, then what do you have, right? If you sell it to somebody else, you might can sell the context, the resources, and the systems. But if that individual brought in all the systems, he brought in all the resources, then that's something you have to evaluate and see if that's what you probably got to try to make it work without them, or even hire somebody to do it. But that's a good question. I don't want to guide you too much and too in depth, but it's like I said, still, like I don't know what no money brings in either. That's like a weird statement. Zero income. Do you bring in? It says don't bring in any money anymore. Are you losing money? Are you breaking even? Or you just not bringing in as much as you want? Right? Because all those answers have different results. If it's not bringing in the money you want, right, you might got to do stuff to generate more money, and or sell that process to somebody else if you don't want to do it no more. Or if it's breaking even, you can still sell the process. Or I don't know if you have employees, you don't want to get the employees fired, but you probably got to start working on ways, maybe a specific business consultant in that area. But if it's losing money every month, no person should own anything that should be losing money every month. Do you recommend launching a concept with partners? Yeah, if you want to, but concepts statistically are hard to grow and hard to make work. It helps with the load, but I've been advised no. It's kind of crazy, man. It's like, not don't take this the wrong way. Okay, when I say this, a concept is exactly what it says it is. For every Mark Zuckerberg who thought of Facebook, there's hundreds of other ones that you've never heard of that didn't make it. And I always say this: I'd rather have a piece of a watermelon than a whole grape. I'd rather have a, a, a piece of a pie than a whole cupcake, a whole mini cupcake. Think of it like that. If anybody's going to help you launch, get ahead, grow a business, put it in the clause to help them be compensated for that. It can still be your baby, but it's grown exponentially and you got help doing it. So I'll give you a great example of that. A awesome example of that. Okay? I want to see what y'all think. Amazon was started and founded by Jeff Bezos. And he had to raise money through investors. And he had to dilute the amount of money he had in the company or how much equity he had in the company. Anybody want to take a stab at what percentage Jeff Bezos owns of Amazon now? Right? I'm gonna look up the answer because I know it, but I don't. But I want to always yeah, damn, I was right. I didn't even have to look it up. I didn't even have to look it up. What percentage of Amazon is owned by Jeff Bezos now? Throw some numbers out, people. 50%, 80%. Don't look it up, because if you look it up, I know you. If you say the number, I know you looked it up. I read this a while back. Someone said 15%, 48%, 49%, 15%. A lot of different answers on here. Someone said 2%. Damn, 2% of Amazon? That's low. The answer is, someone said 75%, 75%. The answer, I thank y'all for commenting too. I appreciate it. The answer is 8.9%. Jeff Bezos owns 8.9% of Amazon. Jeff Bezos is worth $200 million. $200 billion. So, what do we learn here? Individual stated, do you recommend launching a concept with a partner or partners? It will help with the load. I was advised or told no. Like I said, I don't give advice. This is just a random opinion from a random black dude on the internet. Jeff Bezos owns 8.9% of Amazon. You want to grow? Get help. Like I said, I'd rather own a piece of a pie than a whole mini cupcake. I'd rather own a slice of watermelon than a whole grape. Ask Jeff Bezos. And everybody associates Jeff Bezos with Amazon. He don't even own the majority of it. Not even close. He just started it and he was the CEO for a while. He stepped down as the CEO. He ain't even the majority shareholders. He sold it off. So whenever people thinking or everybody people be talking about, man, I got this great idea. We can do this. I'm gonna do this. Okay, cool, man. Where's the money? Who's helping you? Who you bringing in? When you gonna launch? When you gonna take this concept to market? And you gonna do it by yourself? Probably not. And I'm not saying you ain't. Hell, you'll be surprised. I'll probably get some multi-millionaires and billionaires come to the comment section and get some guidance from me and they press on. I'm not saying that. The odds of you doing it are slim to none, but you're going to probably need some help to do it. When I met Jeff Bezos in 2000, he wasn't even going to the factories. He got there and he opened up the factory. He walked around for about an hour, or he walked around for like 2 or 3 days, and I ain't see his ass no more. I opened up one of the Amazon factories in Atlanta. So, but yeah, enough about that. Yeah, it's crazy to think that Jeff Bezos only owns 8% of Amazon, 8.9. Now, if you want to fact check me, you can Google it, which I just did. Hey, everybody, what's happening? What do you consider getting ahead? How do you get ahead with debt notes? I don't know what that means. Debt notes? Okay, so I guess what is ahead? Hmm, that's a pretty good concept. That's a pretty good question, I guess. So, what is my opinion of getting ahead in life? I guess a cushion. It's having a significant amount of money in your account to where you don't have to worry about next month's bills. Let's say if you had 2 months of expenses in a savings account. Let's say if your overhead every month is $4,000 and you have $8,000 in your account, you got 2 months ahead in a savings account or a checking account. That's a cushion. You're getting ahead, but you still got to do debt servicing. What's crazy is about debt, you have to figure out better ways to get out of debt and easier ways to get out of debt and faster ways to get out of debt while also while also maintaining your lifestyle, which that's where the problem comes in. People want the cake and eat it too. People want instant gratification. People don't want to sacrifice, you know. Just like, for example, if I told you that you don't have a income problem, you have a spending problem. A lot of people, first of all, they don't want to be self-identified as having any kind of problem. A lot of people think that they don't have a spending problem either. But if I looked at your finances, I looked at your checking account, I looked at your debit card account, you got issues. I know you do. Right? I'll even give you one example. Eating out. You know what the average meal cost in America is when you eat at home versus the average meal cost when you eat outside? Let's start with that one. What is the average cost to eat in? Family of four in America. Family of four in America, average food cost. Throw some numbers out. The average food cost to eat at home in America is, did I say eat out or eat in? Right? Did I say eat out? Okay. Okay. I'll say eat out. I don't know what I said. What is the average cost for a family to eat out in America? Average. Someone said McDonald's. I don't know what. I don't know. Not eating at home. Someone said $75. Right. At least this is what the data says. I don't think it's correct, but this is just what the data said. One day I looked it up. The average person or the average family of four to eat out is $19. Don't know if that's true or not. Maybe that's a box of chicken from KFC in 1995, but I don't know. Maybe that's McDonald's, right? Now, this is just one meal. One meal. Average family in America, one meal, four people, $19 on average. Now I'm gonna break down. Let's flip the script. What does the average family spend on one meal to eat at home? What is the? Yeah, I know, 1982. I don't know if they're basing it off of rural areas. I don't know if they're basing it off of pizza, because pizza is really not that expensive. Little Caesars, you can get two Little Caesars pizzas for $12. I mean, I get it. If I ate at McDonald's, like say a number four, like a number one is what, $5, three $5 meals. That's $20. Well, it was $5. I don't know what the hell it is now. I don't eat that crap. So, what does the average family spend in America on staying at home and eating? Family of four. At home, someone said $10. Someone else says $4. Someone says $7. Someone says $12. The average family, if they ate at home, would be at $3.75. So every time you eat out, you're spending probably 400 to 500% more. And that's not even for the day. That's per meal. $20 to eat out, $3.75 to eat at home. Now, I want you to think about this. How many times have you eat? Be honest. I want to see honesty in the comment sections right now. How many times have you eaten out this month? Or fuck it, this week? Say the duration and how many times. Say I've eaten out 4 times this week. I've eaten out at least 5 times this month. Costco hot dogs? Yeah, maybe. Costco hot dogs be hitting. I be hating when my bun be wet though. I don't like that stuff, right? And be honest, right? Because I like honesty. Because you cannot get ahead in life lying to yourself. You're not lying to me, because I don't care. I got mine, right? I can eat out all fucking day. Don't care. Someone said twice this week. Yeah, yeah, I know. You don't have to lie to me. I already know. I already know that people eat out all the damn time because it's convenient. It's fast. You don't want to be bothered. But you almost can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't eat out all the time and then complain you're broke. You know, pick a struggle. Pick that I had to eat shit all day, eat corn and baked chicken, or complain that pick your. I complain about being broke. You can't do both, man. Right? Someone says 12 times a month. I average $40 this month. Shit. 12 times a month. That's the second person this week that said Costco hot dogs are good. I might have to try them. You ain't never had a Costco hot dog? Man, where y'all been living? Under a rock? It's not the fact, I'll tell you something too. To me, food tastes better when it's cheap, right? Costco pizza, it's like $2. A slice of pizza for like $1.50. Costco hot dog is 99 cents. Well, it used to be 99 cents. I think it went up. I think it's like $1.25 now. Right? You go to and then it's like a foot long. You go to a ballpark, that same hot dog is $10. Maybe more than that. So I like people to you should all go to Costco's and try the hot dogs. But don't come back here and say, yo, man, I went to Costco's, I took my dinner date, and we ate Costco hot dogs and we didn't like it. Don't do that, right? You Costco's, you shopping. I think because you work up an appetite and it's convenient and you're hungry. I think that's why they do it like that. But it ain't like a game changing hot dog. It's just cheap. Someone says, If you're working 80 hours a week, you're making $20, $30 an hour, should be the first three steps if the company has a 401k. One of my specialities. All right, so you have a 401k. First thing you should do is go to your human resources management department, probably the ones in charge of your 401k, and you ask them, is your 401k match? Whatever they match, you max that shit out. If they say they match 5%, you put 5%. If they match 2%, you do 2%. Whatever they match, you match. What's crazy is I was talking to a guy, and he said, I got a 401k, and I've been working here for 10 years. And I said, you've been working for 10 years? Okay, how much you put in your 401k? He said, I didn't know anything about it, so I never did it. And then I said, okay, well, why not? He said, I just don't know anything about it. If I don't know nothing about it, I just won't do it. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, well, go to your human resources department and ask them, do they do a match? And whatever they match, say, I want to start putting that money in the account to match it, because you need to start investing in that. Because 401k money is kind of like free money, especially the matching part. It's free money. So he comes back to me, I don't know, a couple of days later or some shit, and he said, oh, they say they match 7%. I said, to do what? He said, yeah, they match 7%. I said, so your company will match up to 7% of what you put into this pot. Yeah. And I comically wanted to go outside and scream at the top of my damn lungs. I said, young brother, you know how much money you've missed out on over the last 10 years? You have a 401k, meaning that, okay, so for those who don't know, a 401k is when your job offers a retirement program. So you put in money into your 401k, into that program. They will incentivize you to invest. So they'll give you what's called a match. And it's generally 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5%. TSP is the same thing as 401k. That's for a government program, though. They give you 5%. You put in 5, they give you 5. So let's say if your paycheck is $1,000, you put in 5% of your paycheck. That's $50. They will match the $50. That's 100% return. This is third grade math, people. If I put in 50, you put in 50, that's 100% return. What asset that's going to give you 100% rate of return just from putting money into it? There's not a lot. There's not a lot. Well, Mr. Richard, I don't know if I'm going to live to be 65. I know you're alive now. I'm not going to help what happens in the future. We're here now. What's the play? What do you want to do? Because I hear that shit all the time. Well, I don't plan on working for him forever. I didn't say that. I don't even care. You put 50 into the bucket, someone else is going to put $50 into a bucket. This is a no-brainer, people. And then that's not even compounded interest. You put 50 into the bucket, they put $50 into the bucket. Now you got $100. They put the $100 into the stock market. Now the $100 is going to make you on average 10.1% interest every year. So now your $100 then made $10 year one. Now your $110 is going to make $11. So now you're at $121. Then you'll be at $12 at 10%. So now you have 133, and so forth and so on and so forth and so on. You're making interest on free money. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. It's free money, people. And then what's crazy is now you have options. You can borrow against your 401k if you wanted to. You could take out a line of credit against your 401k. Some 401k programs have ways that you can borrow against it without any penalties or any taxes. Well, you pay taxes, but you pay taxes if you don't pay it back within a certain amount of time. But there's not too many places that you can go get this free money, man. 401k is one of the better ones. I don't know if you're still in here, but yeah, if you're making, he said he works 80 hours. And then this is what's the crazy part about it is the individual who said they matched 7%, he was making about $105,000 at his job. $105,000 at 7%. 7% is like 7K. 7K matched. You're talking $14,000 a year. $14,000. I'll put in my handy dandy calculator because I put it in before, but I'll put it in for y'all because I don't remember the numbers. So if he puts in 7K, they match the 7K. That's $14,000. $14,000 a year. Actually, it's more than that. My math's off. $1,400 a month is like $16,000 a year. Let's say that mutual fund or whatever he's invested in averages 10% a year, which is the average stock market return. And after those 10 years, he would have $280,000 to $300,000 in that account. Sorry, brother, you lost out on $300,000. I can't rewind time, but we're here now. And that's not including what he missed out on future gains. Younger guy too, man, like 34, 35. He started there at 25, been working there 10 years. I said, my brother, you was rich and don't even know it. But what do you do? Someone says vending machines. All right, so I had multiple vending machines and or I don't even know what you want to call it. It was like a snack bar for an office. And that snack bar office vending machine, it was doing some serious numbers, man. But I mean, economically $50,000-$60,000 a year. However, it takes a lot of time. You got to devote a lot of time to stocking that shit up. And that's not including perishable items. That's not including refunds. That's not including your machines not working. That's not including hiring people to help. It just takes a lot. And if you're going to put that much time, energy, effort into it, you might as well put your time, energy, effort into something that produces more money. But some vending machines aren't that bad though, especially if it's close to you or you have multiple locations in a close proximity. Let's say if you live in a bigger city and you have 8 different machines. Yep, 8 different machines and a square 50-mile radius. It's gonna take you half an hour to get to the machine. It's gonna take you an hour to stock it, or half an hour to an hour to stock it, and then another half an hour to drive to your next location. Let's say you have 8 machines. It's going to take you half an hour to get to one, a half an hour to stop. You got to do that 8 times a day. That's 8 hours, not including traffic. That's not including going to buy the stuff. So you probably factor another 2 or 3 hours. Actually, probably a little longer than that. You'll be surprised how long it takes to go buy the stuff to fill a vending machine. Right. One thing about Sam's and Costco, though, you can go on their website and you can just order the stuff online and they'll pick it for you and they'll just have the stuff ready. I mean, it took me about 6 months to realize that they was doing this. And after, I wish I had social media then to where I could show y'all how much stuff I was buying and while I was putting in my little Prius. Man, that was some good content. Man, I was dropping $2,000 a week in that damn place, man. Now probably about $2,000 a month. $2,000 or $3,000 a month in snacks. It was a lot. A lot. Do I have any franchise businesses? No. I generally don't like franchises, but they have the ups and downs. If you like systems, and so franchises have the ups and downs, right? I've just never found an opportunity in a franchise that I wanted. If I was to do a franchise, okay, let me tell you the ins and outs. Okay, if I was to do a franchise, I would want multiple franchises at once. I wouldn't want to do like one franchise, right? I want to take over like a chain of franchises. Like, so, I don't know, like a Subway or something or a Little Caesars. I want like 10 locations. I don't want one location. One location is not worth it to me, at least in this stage of my life. If I was to take it over, right? If I got to listen to a CEO, I got to go and, operate how they want me to operate. It's got to be worth my time, right? Let's say if the average Little Caesar locations are bringing in 60K to the owner, 60K, I own 10 of them, that's 600,000. Nah, it's almost worth my time. Right? And I'll just go to every location once every month. Hey, how y'all doing? Clean this shit up. Why this shit so dirty? It smells weird. Do this, fix that. Thank you. Here are a couple gift cards for gas or something. Appreciate y'all hard work. See y'all at the Christmas party. Right? Keep it pushing. Now, in that case, yeah. Like one store, not worth my time. 60 grand a year, that's not worth my time. To have to hear some fucking CEO and some dude. But one thing about, okay, I'll give you the pros and cons about franchises though. So one thing about franchises that are good, if you don't have no clue what you're doing, or you're not good at managing people, you're not good at systems and stuff, get a damn franchise because they have all the experts you need. They have the accountants you need. They have the tax specialists you need. They have some franchises have like a weekly franchise meeting, right? It's like a Zoom call, and you're there with either the CEO, the COO, the CFO, or the franchise expert, or another person that has multiple chains, and then you can just, hey man, I'm having this issue. I need to do this. I have to go there, and then you can just ask them the question. It's almost like a built-in support system, which a lot of people can appreciate, but a lot of people don't. Right? But they charge you for that. Right? Your franchise fee can be 3% of gross sales, 10% gross sales, 5% gross sales, but they give you systems and teams in place, and they advertise for you too, right? When you see a Little Caesars commercial, that's where they get the money from. And then one thing that's cool about Little Caesars too is you have what's they call a regional franchise manager. The regional franchise manager, like say if you're in Atlanta, he'll go to like Buckhead, Decatur, Cobb County, Gwinnett, Sandy Springs, Peachtree City, and he just goes around all these different areas and checks on the store. He talks to the manager, he talks to the staff, he ensures that everything is smooth. And now the owner don't have to go and do that. So that franchise fee is what pays his salary. So now you don't have to, worry about your store as much. So there are pros and cons. I don't, the one of the cons is that you have to do things the way they want you done. If that regional manager goes by and say, "Yo, man, you're selling a Pepsi product instead of a Coke product. We don't sell Coke." Like, well, people want Coke. We don't do that. Now you will have to adhere to everything they say. Or a lot of people, if that Little Caesars or something is right by a college, and the games get out at a certain time. Let's say they have a lot of night games, and the games get out at 10 o'clock. But you're told from the regional manager or the district manager or the franchisees or Little Caesars headquarters saying, "Yo, man, you can't be open past 10." He's like, "Well, my demographic state that I should be." It's like, "Well, I don't care what your demographic state. We're not a late hangout spot. We don't do that." You're at the mercy of them, right? Some people like more flexibility. Franchises is more cookie cutter, right? You do whatever they say. But their objective is to make sure that you're successful. That's why people like franchise models. And you got people on your team and on your side. So I kind of see the pros and cons of both. If I was to do a franchise, I want a bundle franchise. I want a whole bunch of stores or franchises at once, and that's it. I don't want to do one solo one. Where's the link? Link to what? The free class? Click the link above, click my name, or go to the link in the bio and type in, or go to YouTube and or wherever and just click the free class. What are your thoughts on a real estate course that costs 7K? It's more okay. I'm gonna be transparent on this, man. There's people on these apps that I get asked, is their stuff worth it? And me personally, majority of them are not. There are some good people out here, but one thing I try to focus on is if you wanted to do something, do it from learn it from people who are actually doing it and see how they can benefit you, and or look how well rounded the individuals are, right? I don't want to work with people who are out of touch when it comes to this stuff, right? If I'm on social media and I'm flexing a whole bunch of cars and I'm flexing my boats and flexing my houses and I'm really truly not talking about the shit that I want to learn, then why go through that person, right? But think about it like me, right? And I hate to plug myself, but I wouldn't be doing myself any justice if I didn't plug myself. You people come on here and ask me questions for hours on end, and I don't shun the questions away. I don't pick and choose certain questions. I answer answer every question on here, right? And I'm giving y'all this for free. Imagine what you would get if you signed up. Think about it like that. And then not only do I focus on real estate, right? I've made majority of my money initially in real estate. I've been buying properties since 2008. And then we can break down, some people focus on Section 8. Some people focus on syndication. Some people focus on Airbnb. Some people focus on BRRRR. Some people focus on lease options. Some people focus on sub 2. Some people focus on wholesaling. Some people focus on bird dogging. Some people focus on bird strategy. Some people focus on fix and flip. I do them all. I mean, why focus on one way to skin a cat when I can skin the cat 100 different ways? I mean, and then a lot of that shit's overpriced. A lot of that shit you can just Google. But what you want is somebody to walk you through the process. And that's what I'm good at. You have a question about something, You come to me and ask me directly, right? I know people that have programs. When you sign up for them, you get their team. With me, you don't get no fucking team. Well, you get the team, but you get me. You see my ugly face every week. And I'm asking you the questions. Did you do this? Did you go here? Did you do this? Did you do that? If the answer is no, then it's your fault if you don't be successful. But it won't be mine because I'm going to tell you what to do. You better take notes and listen and pay attention. Some persons came to me the other day. It was like, yo, man, every time I come to your class, I'm already tired from the day. I'll say, yep, I don't give a fuck what you are, right? You here to learn. Let's learn. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and let's go. Okay. But yeah, that's my personal opinion on it, especially when it comes to the real estate thing. Uh, and then $7,000 is kind of a lot of money, right? I understand that there's a lot of working people out there, and 7K for something is kind of ridiculous. So that's why my shit's not even close to that. That's a lot. $7,000, hell, that's a Honda Civic. that's an '06 Honda Civic, man. But good question though. Is there a pre-approval to the SBA loan? Yes. But I've known people to get pre-approvals, but you don't really need them. It's almost like getting okay. If you get pre-approved for a loan for a business that you don't know you're going to buy yet, whatever you do find a business you're going to have to buy, you're going to have to go back and then get approved for the business you're going to buy. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, man, I want to get pre-approved to buy a business that I don't know which one I'm going to buy yet. Okay. It says your credit's good. It seems like you got a decent bank account. It seems like you have everything in order. I'm sure pre-approval. Okay. Whenever you come in here, we're going to have to approve the business. And then we're going to have to approve you to have this business. So we're going to have to pre-approve you again. So I guess if you want to get pre-approval, I guess you say, because depending on what you're looking at, you don't have to. If you get into the program, I can tell you how much you can get approved for in 5 minutes. I can actually, you tell me how much money you have saved up, and I can tell you how much you can get approved for in the next 10 seconds. Hell, I didn't give you that off the top of my head. SBA standard loan is 10% down. You got 50K, that's $500,000. If you do owner financing, you can do 5% or 2.5%. 5% down. If you got $50,000, that's $1 million. 2.5% down if the owner agrees to 2.5%, 7%, 7.5% equity stake. That's a $2 million business. You need a pre-approval for that? No. Get you that on top of my head. You can get that on the website of the SBA too. But yeah, good question. Good question. It's called a big lot, but now bitch got the juice. What do you think about storage units and laundromats? What is the most profitable business you can buy, in your opinion, for $100,000 or more? You know, the business is irrelevant. We won't even say the type of business. There are people who sells, okay, don't even say a business in general. There are people who sell stuff that's overpriced. You know it, and I know it. Anything. There's a hamburger spot that charges $25 for a hamburger. Should a hamburger be $25? No. I don't give a damn if it's the best hamburger in the world. It's overpriced. There are people that sell $1 hamburger. Is $1 for a hamburger cheap? Yes. Is it good or not? That's irrelevant. We're talking about price and value, right? We're talking about prices. So when it comes to anything in the world, once you know how to evaluate things, then the amount of money you spend for it is almost relative. I'll give you an example, right? I won't even say a specific business. I'll just say you are looking for a type of business, right? You insert whatever type of business you want: laundromat, Dunkin' Donuts, storage units, existing Airbnb, Little Caesars, a Krispy Kreme. I don't give a shit. Insert whatever you want into this. A fishing store, a gym, don't care. You're looking at gyms or you're looking at a business for sale. You say, okay, cool. Here's one. This is $100,000 and it makes 25,000. That's 25%. Okay. Look at another business. Same type. This is $100,000 and it produces $30,000. A little better. I'm looking at this business and it produces 20,000. Not as good. I'm looking at this business, 25, 100, 25, 100, 25, 120, 130, 125, 175,000. Oh shit. We cooking now. Because you've been looking for businesses for a while and you understand that the average business that you were looking for, don't make a difference of the business, was doing about 25% returns. Asking price versus cash flow, or asking price versus how much it makes. 25%. Now you found one that's 60,000. So 60% return. 70,000, 70% returns. Hey, how you doing, sir, ma'am? How you doing? What's going on? Why are you selling this? Well, I've had this business for 10 years and I'm just ready to be done with it. Do you say, hey, why is it cheap? They're just done with it. They don't care. They made their money off this shit for years. So, better question. If there's a business for sale that you want and it's doing the numbers that you want it because you've been evaluating for a couple weeks now, a couple months or whatever, you found one. Do you have the ability to purchase? Do you have the credit to get the funding? Do you have the skills to negotiate owner financing? Do you have a down payment? Do you know what a good business is? It might make sense financially, but everything else don't make sense. Maybe they're blowing smoke up your ass. Do you know what a good business is? Do you know how to check and see if they're making $70,000 a year? There's at least 10 different pieces of paper that I could check that would let me know that's a good business. So the business, like I said, you inserted your own business. So is there a good business for you? It's all subjective. I don't know. Why would I buy a landscaping company when I hate being outside? Why would I buy a pool servicing businesses when I can't even swim? Or I'm allergic to chlorine, right? I don't know. But I do know that some businesses financially make more sense than others on average. But you got to look for those averages. You got to look at what works and what don't, right? But that's what we talk about. That's where I help you at. What is the ways to get funded? Wow, that's a good question. So there's multiple ways to get funded in real estate, businesses. You can get funding through. I have a funding company where I help people get funded. Right? We get you business funding, and we get you 0% interest for over an extended period of time. So there are people out there that will get you funding, but I call it reckless funding. What they'll do is they'll sign you up and then they'll run your credit through the ringer and they'll give you all kind of line of credit. They'll get you a shit ton of money, but then one, they don't tell you how to spend the money. Two, they don't tell you how to liquidate the money. And three, they don't give you 0% interest, right? Yeah, if I get $100,000 worth of line of credit and any of it, and my payment is through the moon, right? I got to start making that money back ASAP. Pretty much setting people up for failure. But if you have a 0% interest, not only is your payment lower, you have a longer period of time to find a way to service that debt and pay off that debt. But my funding team probably has 10 different programs when it comes to businesses, right? You can get a you get a business loan to buy equipment for your existing business. Let's say if you're a farmer or you have a machine press or something like that, I can get you funding for equipment. I get you funded on accounts receivable. Let's say if you did a Kickstarter and you pre-order got $100,000 worth of pre-orders, and you want to fill those pre-orders. You want to take that money and grow the business more, but you want to use those pre-orders to grow your business or fill those orders. I can get you funded on order fills. I can get you funding to get you money to grow a business. I get you money to buy a business. I get you money to expand your existing business. I get you money for real estate. I get you money for Airbnb, side hustles. You want to buy ATMs? I don't give a shit, right? I have so many funding plays. You want to do an SBA Express loan? I can help you with that. You can do an SBA 7A, help you with that. You can do an SBA flat. I can help you with that. You want to take a loan out against if you have a certain amount of stocks, say if you have $50,000 worth of stocks, you can leave the stocks in the brokerage account. I can get you a loan against that. If you have a 401k, I can help you get a loan against that. I mean, it's pretty much every loan program that's out there I can help you with. My funding team will get you the money. If you want the money, we'll get it to you. And we try to get it to you as cheap as possible. I try to be responsible, man. I don't want to get people $1 million worth of funding at 35% interest and give them no direction. Not only do I help you get the funds, I show you best assets to buy with them, and I teach you the best methods on debt servicing. So whenever you do acquire those assets, the assets pay for the debt that you borrowed the money for. So now it's just a wash, or you make money, which that's the way everybody should be doing it. I don't know what the hell people be taking money and starting businesses. That's just trash. I need absentee. Where can I check in with the general manager? I don't want to buy a full-time job. I'm trying to get away from working 70 hours a week. Where can I check in with the general manager? Wherever you want. I have the way I do it is all my general managers or managers of any system I have, they have my direct number, and or I communicate with them on Slack channel. So I go to Slack. Slack is just pretty much like Microsoft Office or Microsoft Teams or something like that. You just go in there, you put a message in the chat. There's a chat for all the managers if they want to talk to each other. There's a message for me directly. There's a message for CPAs. There's a manager for the accounts, receivables, accountants, and all kind of stuff like that. So, we just get on there and chat, and that's how we figure stuff out. But I rarely talk to people though. Every once in a while, I'll say, "Hey man, let's hop on a quick phone call." But if you get a call from me, either you in trouble or it's something that needs to be just accomplished a little faster than most. Most time I just text people, but that's how it should be, right? So I just sit here. If you ever hear a bell in the background, that's somebody either talking on Slack or talking via email or talking via text message where I had to get to work. But I'll get to it in a sec. I kind of can double check now. Meaning more likely I'm going to have to get off here. But nope. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a sec. I should have married Mary Kate and Ashley. But I do so much emailing that I pretty much made a quick response because I already have things that I'm already going to say to people. It's calm. Come on now. Boom. Work done. That's where you come in, right? A mentor who knows? Yeah, I guess. I don't know what question you say, but I think you was talking about the absentee businesses. Yeah. And then I also focus on, I call it the four pillars. And I'm in the process of writing a book on this, which I need to start, but I got the concept down, but I just need to sit down to do it. Four pillars, right? Credit, investing, real estate, and ownership of cash flow producing assets. And we focus on that a lot. But once you understand and master those four pillars, you will have a better grip on a lot of the financing of your life. It's pretty nuts. He's not answering on TikTok. What do you mean? Ask the question. Have you ever financed? Have you ever acquired a distressed business? Distressed is a rough word. I don't. I don't take over problems. Distressed properties, yeah. Distressed businesses, I don't take on headaches. It's not worth it. Now, and distress is kind of like nah. The more I think about it, no. The answer is no. Is it a good time to do a HELOC or refinance? You should never refinance any home. A refinance is like a reset on the mortgage. Don't just That's just my personal opinion. I would never refinance a home, right? Either HELOC or sell. Unless you do a portfolio loan, a portfolio refinance. Now that might be a little different, but depends on how much equity you have in the property. But I don't need to refinance anymore because I'm out of refinance. I'm beyond that. I hate restarting my mortgages unless you did a hard money loan or a private money loan. Like that's the only time you should be refinancing. Somebody said I got 150K sitting in my account and don't know where to invest. Come to the free class tonight. We'll talk about it. I don't even think the 45, that guy's still in the chat. But as far as TikTok, not TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, I appreciate y'all being on here. I can only stay on so much time because it like kicks me out the system. But I appreciate y'all being here. I'll probably get off and then come back on because it just has to reset. But thank y'all for being here. If you're interested, I have a free class. Click the link in the bio, join the free class, and We go from there. Make sure you subbing. Support is free, and turning your notifications on every time I come on. You can come in here and get some value, and think of the questions when you're out and about, or you see some opportunity, and you like, man, I think about doing this, man. This ain't bad. Bring the questions. Hopefully, I can get you guided and pointed in the right direction. Right. All right. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Later, dudes.